What is going on, guys? I am Jaye. Shout out to everybody that's here. I want to talk about the situation with Sky from Black Ink Crew. Okay, I'm pretty sure some of you, if not most of you, are here because you've heard about this same situation as me. But there was a clip from the Black Ink Crew season, that trailer, and it featured this dysfunctional female, Sky, berating her teenage son, the one that she gave up, one of the kids that she gave up, and berating him and saying a lot of disgusting, derogatory things about him. Now, I believe it started with because he has been on the show before, him and his brother. Now, his older brother doesn't deal with Sky. He doesn't like her. He admitted to only being on the show for the bag. He saw right through her. And what's very interesting is that I think Sky actually cares more about him than the young son, but we'll get to that later. Now, you have the young son. He's 19. His name is Dez. Now, he grew up with a Caucasian family, which is a further indictment on Sky and the narrative that, Caucasian people can't raise black kids, especially black males. But anyway, apparently he went to apologize, to go and say, you know what, I want to mend things, because they had been on the outs, because he had been on the show before and left, and he came back, and he did it for her. And in this particular clip, he's there, he's apologizing, he's like, listen, I want to clear things up, I want a better relationship with you. Okay. Then she begins to talk about a female contacting her about being pregnant by him, him taking, stealing from her. And then they get into it, and then she talks about how she should have aborted him. She should have swallowed him, which probably would have been better for him because he wouldn't have had a mother like her. And just be very disrespectful towards him. And then, in the clip, he's talking to Caesar, the guy who runs the Black Ink Crew shop, the guy who clearly either has a thing for Sky, or he knows that she's good for the drama of the show. And he knows she's dysfunctional. He knows that she may be bipolar, but he needs her to continue that show going. So he's there making excuses for her. And you see, it's males like Caesar who are not honest with these particular type of females, and why these females will never mature, because, Sky was a teenager when she had Dez. And she never really grew up after that. I think mentally she's still a teenager, no matter how old she gets. She's only, 15 years older than him. And he's there making an excuse for her, telling us how the world is. And the young man, Dez, begins to break down. He didn't understand why she would talk to him that way. And looking at it from my perspective, okay, I could tell this guy, Dez, this young man, that she is the way that she is because of the fact that she is bipolar. She's mentally unstable. She was sleeping around with older men. As a matter of fact, I believe that because she does not like his father, and because he had rekindled a relationship with his father that he never really had, I think that's what caused her to be confrontational with him when he just went to apologize and clear up any issues that they have. Just because he wanted to have a relationship with not only his mother, but his father. That's why I believe she flipped on him the way that she did. I believe it's because every time she sees Dez, she sees his father. She doesn't like his father. She has admitted that she's afraid of his father. And because he now has a relationship with his father, I believe when she looked at him, she saw his father. And that pent up, anger that she has towards him, she took it out on him, on her son, on her own son, the one that she carried for 9 months and had, that a Caucasian family raised, a Caucasian woman raised. Now, Dez grew up, again, with this Caucasian family. He was a high school football player. He had an opportunity to go to college to further his career. Didn't do any of that. I believe he also had a chance to go into the military. Didn't do that. He wanted to go and live with his mother, because I think that for the most part, he wanted to know his mother. He wanted a better situation, unlike his older brother, who saw right through Sky. I think that Sky actually, because she looks just like her eldest son, she looks just like him. Okay. I think she really wants a relationship with him, because whether y'all want to admit it or not, parents do have favorites. And I think because the oldest looks more like her, when she sees him, she sees herself, and they both have the same temperament because they both are confrontational, I think that she wants to have a relationship with him the most. But I think when she sees her younger son, Dez, and the fact that he wants to have a relationship with his father, I think that drove her to have disdain towards him, unfortunately. And that's why she said that she wished she'd swallowed him, that she wished she had aborted him, that she, just doesn't like him, doesn't want him. And she even said that. I want a lot of women to understand that there are young black men like Dez all across the country, probably across the world, who have mothers like this. Okay. Now, I saw comments from women that saying that, these are the type of women to breed, dysfunctional, angry, black males. And that is very true, because behind every dysfunctional black male is a dysfunctional black woman, his mother. And people want to make excuses for it. People want to throw it on the rug. They want to blame a structure of, supremacy. No, it's the fact that they have to deal with being verbally pounded on by their mothers, because Sky was very disrespectful towards this kid. He just wanted a relationship with her, but she used them for a check. She used them to gain ratings for the show, to make herself look good, to alleviate her guilt. But she doesn't love those kids, especially Dez. You know why? Because Dez just doesn't want to be in her life. He wants to be in his biological father's life too. And she just cannot stand that. So she sees that as betrayal. So every time she sees Dez, she sees her ex. Okay? A guy who was much older than her, a guy who claimed that she lied about her age. I mean, we leave that up to interpretation. But this is somebody who clearly mentally is not grown up. And then she puts a post on social media saying that when you crossed me, you lost me. I think you should have lost the relationship with your kids a long time ago. I think she should have left them alone. She lied about the fact that she didn't know where they were, but she actually did. She never made any effort whatsoever to go see them, because she doesn't care about them. She was too busy living her life and doing what she wants to do, getting a whole bunch of work done on her body, and she still looks a mess. She still looks a mess. She dated some rapper, 600 Breezy, and he ended up dumping her. That's just where she is. Nobody's gonna take her seriously as far as relationships is concerned. And there were other females on reality TV who had spoken out against her. There were a lot of people who went off on her, but she doesn't care, because she has what she's always wanted: attention and fame. Attention, fame, and money to get more work done on their bodies. That's it. And she basically ruined Dez's life for the second time. Not only did she ruin his life by giving him up, she ruined his life because, he had a direction that he was going in, but he changed that because she wanted them on the show. She wanted them on the show. But when he decided that he wanted to be a part of his father's life, that's when she turned on him. She wanted nothing to do with him. She sees him as she sees as his father. And that is sad to me, but that is what happens with a lot of these disgruntled single mothers. They flip on their sons, especially because they look like their daddy. They hate they don't like their father. So what happens is they will go and they will flip on their sons because the sons look like the father. They have a relationship with the father and they can't stand the father. She used them for a check. She used them to gain some sort of validation as a woman who lost kids but got them back and want to be in their life. Really the case. That wasn't really the case. This woman clearly, again, as I said, has psychological issues. She's somebody that should have never been in their life again. And it just seems to me that Dez is somebody that is easily influenced. He's out partying and hanging out with his older brother, who may not be the best influence. That's why, without these young males having guidance from either a mother or father, they're completely lost. They're completely lost. And Dez grew up in a different environment, man. He grew up in an environment of people who actually cared about him. But I think he wanted to have a relationship with his mother because I believe she sold him a dream. She tried to sell the older brother a dream and he saw right through it. Because the older brother, just like her, he is a splitting image of her, and they have the same temperament, But I hope this young man can get guidance. I hope that, he can get his life back on track, get off TV, get off social media. I don't even think he's really been posting anything since. Because I think he's embarrassed. I think he's hurt. And I hope that he can really get back on the right track. Whether it's, through sports, whether it's through education, being self-employed, starting his own business, doing something productive. Because it's clear to me who the problem is in this situation. It's clear to me why young males like Dez end up growing up to be dysfunctional and having, not so good relationships with other women, And I truly believe that Sky deserves all the criticism that she is getting because she is the prime example of the type of mother that most people should never have.